Have you ever looked at the news, scrolled through social media, or just observed the world around you and thought, why is everything so messy? Why is there so much chaos? It's a feeling we all share. It seems like for every step forward, we take 2 steps back. But what if this messiness isn't just random noise? What if it's a fundamental part of how our world operates? Today, we're diving deep into this question, pulling from the wisdom of philosophy, social science, economics, and politics to understand the chaos. Let's start with a foundational concept from physics and philosophy, entropy. The second law of thermodynamics states that in a closed system, things naturally move from order to disorder. Think about your bedroom. If you don't actively put energy into cleaning it, it will inevitably get messy. Now, imagine scaling that up to the entire world. Societies, relationships, and systems all require constant energy and effort just to maintain their current state. Without that sustained input, things naturally drift towards disarray. Philosophically, this suggests that chaos isn't an anomaly, it's the default setting. Order is the exception, a temporary victory we have to fight for every single day. This isn't meant to be pessimistic, but rather to frame our perspective. The order we do have is a remarkable achievement. Now let's bring in the social scientists. One of the biggest drivers of social complexity is us, human beings. We are beautifully, frustratingly diverse. Each one of us is a unique universe of experiences, beliefs, values, and desires. When you put 8 billion of these unique universes together on one planet, what do you expect? Sociologists talk about social fragmentation, where societies are increasingly divided into smaller groups based on identity, belief, or interest. While these communities provide a sense of belonging, they can also lead to an us versus them mentality. We naturally favor our in-group and can be suspicious of the out-group. This is a basic human cognitive bias. So much of the conflict we see isn't necessarily born from pure malice, but from this deep-seated psychological need to belong and protect our tribe. Everyone is trying to do what they believe is right from their own perspective, but these perspectives often clash, creating friction and chaos. This brings us to economics and political science, where the messiness gets amplified. Let's talk about competing incentives. In a globalized economy, what's good for one company, country, or individual is often not good for another. A company might maximize profit by moving manufacturing to a country with cheaper labor. This is great for the company's shareholders and maybe for the workers in the new location, but it can be devastating for the community that lost those jobs. There's no single right answer here. It's a web of conflicting interests. Economists call these externalities, the unintended side effects of an action. Pollution is a classic example. A factory produces goods we want, but the pollution it creates is a cost borne by everyone, especially those who live nearby. The system isn't designed to easily account for these hidden costs, leading to outcomes that feel chaotic and unjust. Politically, this is even more complex. The primary goal of a political leader is often to stay in power and serve their constituents. This means they are incentivized to make decisions that are popular in the short term, even if they might be harmful in the long term. Kicking the can down the road on issues like climate change or national debt is a perfect example. The immediate political cost of taking drastic action is high, while the consequences are far off. This is what political scientists call short-termism. Furthermore, in a world of nation-states, every country is pursuing its own national interest. While we have international bodies like the United Nations, they have limited power to enforce global cooperation, especially when powerful nations disagree. This creates a constant power struggle on the world stage, a geopolitical chess game where moves by one player can create instability for many others. It's a system of organized anarchy where everyone is jostling for position. So, we have the natural tendency towards disorder, the immense diversity of human perspectives, and economic and political systems built on competing incentives. It's a recipe for chaos. But here's the crucial part. Understanding the sources of the mess is the first step toward navigating it. This isn't a call to despair. It's a call to be smarter, more empathetic, and more realistic. What can we actually do? First, let's embrace a concept from philosophy: intellectual humility. This means accepting that our own perspective is limited and incomplete. It means listening to understand, not just to reply. When we engage with someone who holds a different view, instead of immediately trying to prove them wrong, we can ask, "Why do you believe that? What experiences led you to that conclusion?" This doesn't mean abandoning our own values, but it builds bridges of understanding. Most people are operating from a place of good intention, based on their own information and worldview. Recognizing this shared humanity is our most powerful tool against tribalism. Second, from a social and political perspective, we need to think about designing better systems. How can we realign incentives so that what is good for the individual or corporation is also good for society and the planet? This could mean policies like carbon taxes that make polluters pay for their externalities, or campaign finance reforms that reduce the influence of short-term private interests on politics. These are huge, difficult challenges, but they are not impossible. It requires us to move beyond outrage and toward constructive, long-term engagement. It means voting, advocating for change, and supporting organizations that are working on these systemic issues. Finally, let's bring it back to the individual level. Given the large-scale forces at play, it's easy to feel powerless. But remember the concept of entropy. Order is created by applying focused energy. You can be a source of that energy. Start in your own life, in your own community. Practice kindness. Have difficult conversations with respect. Volunteer. Support local businesses. Create something beautiful. Every act of compassion, understanding, and creation is a small but powerful pushback against chaos. It's you, actively tending to your small corner of the universe. You're not just a passive observer of the world's mess. You are an active participant with the power to create pockets of order and decency. The world is messy because it's filled with life, with competing dreams, with billions of stories all unfolding at once. It's not a problem to be solved, but a condition to be managed with wisdom, empathy, and courage. Understanding why it's chaotic helps us to not be overwhelmed by it, but to find our role within it. It allows us to appreciate the moments of harmony and to work patiently and persistently towards creating more of them. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. I know it's a lot to think about, but these are the questions that can help us make sense of our world. If you found this valuable, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that explores the big ideas shaping our lives. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How do you make sense of the chaos? Until next time, stay curious and be a source of order in your world.